Hi, this is me, and I'm going to do a short little Pecha Kucha talk on what I call graphic essays or doodles in search of a point. I've been a long-time doodler, and lately I've been formalizing the project. My interest in this sort of thing comes from a lot of different sources. The more academic ones are on the bottom. The bottom left is Philip Lejeune's The Autobiographical Pact. On the bottom right is from Kaplan, uh, writing about the way people write. And that's on the top left is Apollinaire, top right is Jenny Holzer. These are some of my first efforts in what I've come to call graphic essays. Usually I just write a couple of different terms and draw a box around it. Then I add arrows, and so that's how it all began. Writing things down, overheard things. This is a classic example of something I overheard, and then I drew a box around it. I don't know, it sort of gives it a sort of ties it up in a bow, makes it look like it has a graphic element to it. I'll talk a little bit later about dialogue bubbles. This, I guess, in a parallel universe would be a rough draft of a poem, but I end up calling these sort of graphic essay fragments. Um, I don't usually use line pads anymore, so I just figured I'd include this. This to me is like a full page writing down stray thoughts, overheard thoughts, along with my commentary on them. It's a gloss, it's commentary, it's an essay, and there's a box around it, which makes it graphic. So there I did it. This is another classic example of overhearing something that's so obvious, but framed to make it sound really smart or really academic. This is actually something I heard someone say on a microphone. Narrative is just another story. This is a detail from notes that I wrote for somebody's paper from a couple of years ago, and I guess I'm going back here, but um, this to me looked interesting enough for me to scan. So this is from a student paper, but I scanned it. And this is one of my few attempts to transcribe or type up um, the way they look drawn on the page. And I've gotten mixed results from that. And sometimes it looks interesting, kind of like the Apollinaire calligram things on the first slide, kind of like that. Here's another example of me writing things down and then maybe my smart Weisenheimer remarks later. This is more of a clean version of some of the stuff you're going to see later on, where I work a little blue, meaning R-rated. And I guess at some point I started thinking about workflow charts, and I forget what they're called, but they're sort of mind maps. Yeah, that's what they're called. And so I started doing a series of figures and pie charts. And this is figure 2, where I am offered a marijuana cigarette. And of course, it goes yes or no. And I just thought it looked funny as a handwritten thing. Um, yeah, you can read that for yourself. This one isn't so much a workflow as me just trying to connect thoughts together. And usually the attempt fails, and usually by the time I reach the last element, I write something a little naughty. This is sort of like a symbology type thing, but it's all coming out of sell ourself. I guess I heard that being told in a meeting, or maybe overheard it on the television. And then chili sauce is a reference to Mars Day. And some of these, this even looks graphically like something that shouldn't be disseminated. This has some unprintable words here, so it's a combination of a Venn diagram as well as a workflow, maybe like the London tube map thrown in for good measure. And this is another box Venn diagram. These are all from a large notebook that I have that's 8.5 by 11. So these are, I'm working in a larger medium at this point. And sometimes, I mean, I write things that are, naughty and inappropriate, if you will, but other times I'm writing things to myself, trying to figure out a problem, and this is a pretty good example, and that's why I included it here. There's nothing in the middle, no answer. This is another from that day. I can tell because I date a lot of these, where I'm just trying to figure out what should I be doing besides writing this in my notebook. And these notebooks look very important. I look like I'm actually working really hard when I'm writing these. This is actually details from about 3 or 4 different graphic essays, but I just wanted to show what the large bracket looks like. The next slide is sort of my masterwork. I did a kind of artistic family tree and sort of a death by PowerPoint slide, so I just want to end with that. Yep, there it is. It is all of my artistic influences. Well, not all of them. I have many. But this is kind of funny. I tried to use a lot of the flowchart, big military PowerPoint slides all in one shebang. So that's